Hello YouTube and welcome to my Guild Wars 2 Secretly Meta Build series, and I will be showing you the Guardian for part 3. You can find the other parts back in my channel. In previous videos I have stated to always incorporate the elite specializations into your build because they're the best and they should be used at all times if possible. And it is true to some extent, but with certain builds that I have been messing around with, I have found that there isn't really a need to always incorporate the elite specializations, and Dragon Hunter is an example of that. So this build I like to call my triple hybrid bunker build because it incorporates symbols, shouts, and meditations into one build. And this build has been one of the tankiest builds I've ever played, next to Minion Master Necros and Cleric Druid builds. So I will start with the trait lines. So for traits, it's similar to my past Guardian tanking build that I put out before, but with the rearranged trait lines, I can't run the shouts and the symbols in the same at the same time because they put them as the elite in the honor tree. So I can't do symbols and shouts as far as traits go, but I still found it really effective to just go ahead and use the shouts regardless, even though I can't use that one trait. And so to make up for this, I went into the Valor tree and focused on meditations to help kind of compensate for not being as effective with the shouts as I once was. So in the Valor tree, you got your first minor right here, and it's just you gain Aegis whenever you're struck below the threshold. So you hit 50% health, you gain Aegis, you're going to block an attack. That's all it is. And then here, this is a really nice trait to have when you're running meditations, because you use Smite Condi whenever you're using a heal ability. So when I use Shelter, it's going to activate Smite Condition before my heal actually goes off. So it's going to heal me even more and give me Fury, along with curing conditions and inflicting damage, just because I'm using a heal skill. So as you can see, I'm gaining basically 5400 health, plus another 2400, so I'm gaining over half my health just by using a heal skill, plus I'm blocking for that duration. So huge survivability right here. Here we have our next minor trait. Basically, Virtue of Courage is recharged whenever you revive an ally. So basically, you revive somebody, this one recharges, which is the main virtue that I use when I'm in combat. So basically, if somebody goes down, revive them, and make sure you use Virtue of Courage when you're reviving them for the stability, so you can't be interrupted while you're doing it. And when they get back up, your Courage is recharged, and you can use it again at a later point. So it's really, really nice. So here, I'm using Staff and then Mace Shield, as you can see below. So I picked the Stalwart Defender rather than Strength in Numbers, because I wanted to have the additional toughness while wielding a shield, and shield abilities are reduced for the cooldowns. They made shield a lot better in a past update. Your number 5 skill, which used to be stationary, now you can move while using this skill, and not only did they buff that skill, but with the Shield of Judgment, which you send out a wave in front of you, instead of it just applying protection, it will now also give you Aegis. So the shield is much, much better, and in my opinion, I like to use it more than the focus, because of the interrupt that the shield gives, the heal that goes off when I use Shield of Absorption. You can hit 5 again to burst a heal, and plus giving protection and Aegis is what my build is all about. It's a protection and Aegis build. So really, really, really nice, the shield. So I recommend using shield over focus, but if you're one of those people who prefer focus, then definitely run strength in numbers to help out your allies, or you can grant Aegis whenever you block an attack, because you know you're blocking with shelter and with your focus number 5 skill, and you'll gain Aegis from your virtue of courage, and you block with the mace. So yeah, it's all based on preference, but I prefer the shield, so that's what I use. And then here you have Might of the Protector, so you gain Might whenever you block attacks. So, heal skill, Aegis, block, it's everywhere. And I'm stacking Might. Here is your Monk's Focus, which heals you and gives you Fury whenever you use meditations. So this is the main thing that makes meditations so good. So whenever I use my elite, my smite condition, or when I heal and the smite condition goes off with the minor trait here, I'm gaining health and fury, and the recharge is reduced. And 16 seconds for the skill is absolutely just phenomenal. So basically, every 16 seconds I get a heal, as opposed to 30 seconds for shelter. And so moving on to the honor tree, here is just gain vigor whenever you deliver a critical hit. Now I don't critical very much because this is a cleric build, but on the off chance that I do critical, if people are giving me fury, etc., then I'll gain vigor. So this minor trait is almost worthless, but it's good to have anyway, I suppose. Now this minor trait is really, really nice. This one increases healing power over a period of time each time you block an attack while wielding the mace. So basically, if you have your mace shield out and you're blocking attacks, it's stacking Invigorated Bulwark, and you can go up to 10 stacks. It increases your healing power by 50 for each stack. And if you get up to 10 stacks, that's 500 added healing power, for 10 seconds. And reduces your recharge on mace skills. So basically, you block an attack, block an attack, block an attack, block an attack, it's gonna first of all stack might, second of all stack healing power, so your healing is going to be absolutely massive. It's going to increase your passive regeneration from your Virtue of Resolve, it's going to increase your shelter, your meditation heals, your regeneration, and the amount that the symbols heal you when you're standing in them. This is absolutely crucial to the build. It's one of the best traits in the build. It's a must-have. Right here is the Master minor trait. So you heal whenever you dodge roll, and this is a really big heal for just dodge rolling. It's 1300 health just for dodge rolling. So really, really nice, and you time your dodge rolls correctly. You can pulse heals on everybody. And so this is just really, really nice to be able to heal on dodge roll. This one's for staff. So basically your boon duration is increased while wielding staff, and staff skills are recharged. I use staff because first of all it has a symbol that's really easy to put off. It gives you basically perma swiftness for standing in it for a really long time. Your number 2 orb heals is really, really nice. It heals as it passes through, and you can also detonate it to do a burst heal. And then you got your wave auto attack that's really, really nice for hitting multiple targets. Then Empower is really, really good. Even though you're stationary for 2.5 seconds, it gives you 12 stacks of might, and everybody else near you 12 stacks of might, and it also heals for 2700 health in short bursts. It pulses like 4 times as it's doing this. So it's really, really good, and your wall is good for crowd control and holding points, because this is a bunker build. Moving on, Virtue of Resolve passive effect also grants endurance. So basically, this is your Virtue of Resolve. So now, not only is it actively healing you for about 200 health every second or so, but it also is giving you 15% endurance regeneration. So basically it's like having just a small amount. It's not equivalent to vigor in any way, but it's still really, really helpful since your dodge rolls heal and all. And here is the trait where Symbolic Guardian's used. On meta battles you'll see the term Symbolic Guardian, and this is what it's talking about. So symbols are larger, last longer, and heal allies. So basically it increases the radius of the symbols by 60. It will pulse healing every time it gives the boons and and damages and whatever. And it also increases the duration that they're in play for 2 seconds. So really, really nice. And then for the last one, you have Virtues. Guardians, I recommend running Virtues no matter what build you are. Virtues is just a must-have because it increases the power of your Virtues here, and every Guardian uses Virtues. I don't care what build it is, every Guardian uses Virtues, just like every Mesmer uses Shatters, every Thief uses Steel, every Necro uses Death Shroud, you know? That's just the way it is. So here you got your minor trait. So when you activate your Virtues, you're gaining boons. As I said before, this is a protection stack build along with Aegis and Regen and even Might to an extent. So basically, when I enter a fight, I use Virtue of Justice immediately because this isn't a Condi build, so the passive burning is not very helpful, and the active burning does more damage and lasts longer anyway. So I activate Virtue of Justice to gain the retaliation and the might, and I'll also activate Virtue of Courage as I'm fighting to gain the protection, the stability, retaliation, Aegis, you know. It's also a break stun, so sometimes I'll save it for when I'm stunned, but normally I'll activate it just whenever I think I need more protection. So, yeah, that's why you gotta have this trait line. And then right here, this is really nice because this one gives you retaliation and Aegis whenever you're stunned. So basically, if they stun you, they're going to be taking damage from it because of the retaliation, and you're going to block the next attack you're hit with from it. So, really, really nice. And here, this is really helpful because this is what gives you the retaliation whenever you activate a Virtue, and retaliation applied lasts longer. So basically, activating any one of these is going to give you retaliation for 3 1/4 seconds, and the retaliation that you get from Stand Your Ground will now also last like a full 1.25 seconds longer than it used to. So, really, really nice. And here, activating Virtue of Resolve removes Condi from allies, and its passive effect is stronger. This also goes hand in hand with the endurance regen boost that I showed earlier in the video. So basically, don't activate Virtue of Resolve ever unless you're going to activate it and then immediately follow up with Renewed Focus. Because your F2 Virtue of Resolve is what's keeping you alive more than anything else is in this build. I mean, the symbols and all the heals that you're giving off is keeping you alive, but this Virtue of Resolve is giving you your passive heal over time, which is absolutely crucial to keep on at all times, because it's also your endurance regen increase, so only activate it when you're going to follow up with your elite skill. And that's all I have to say on that. And I would also wait until your health is really low, so that when you use it, you're going to gain the 2500 healing, you're going to gain the regeneration, and then when you activate Renewed Focus, you gain another 2400, and then you're invincible for 3 seconds. You know, so it's good. And then all of them are recharged, so you can activate your Virtue of Justice again, and then your Virtue of Courage, and you'll have no problem getting back on your feet from there. So, moving on. This is deal extra damage for each boon you have, and Virtues recharge faster. Another reason why every Guardian needs to have the Virtues trait line. So basically, this is a massive boon stack. So, you got your protection and regen, stability and retaliation, you know, you got your fury. This activating your meditations to give you fury is what's going to trigger your vigorous precision. So when I said it's almost worthless, it's really a 1 in 5 shot, so it's not that worthless considering I'm running the meditations. It's just not as helpful as it could be. But you are gaining fury, you gain swiftness, and you know, more regen, protection, and Aegis, you know, just, you know, all of it. And then you gain the might from your trait line, etc. So, really, really nice. And reduces recharge on your Virtues is helpful, because the recharge on the Virtues is absolutely ridiculous without this. So, and then here, this is what gives you the stability when activating Virtue of Courage, and also makes it a break stun. And it's the Virtue of Courage's passive effect triggers more frequently. Basically, if you don't activate your Virtue of Courage, it's going to give you Aegis for 20 seconds, and that doesn't apply very often. So that's why I use my Virtue of Courage when I can, because the Aegis passive really doesn't help a whole lot. I mean, it's great for the opening fight, because Guardians will start out with the Aegis, but once it's gone, then I basically immediately use Virtue of Courage. So, on to amulets and such. So we got Cleric Amulet, obviously, because this is a bunker build. You can see that armor rating is absolutely massive, the healing power is huge, and base power isn't all that bad. And so right here, to increase my survivability further, I use Rune of the Soldier. This is also to compensate for the trait, because I can't run symbols and shout traits because they're both in the same exact tier. So basically this one would have reduced recharge on my shouts, and shouts remove Condi. So basically running Rune of the Soldier helps to kind of compensate for that trait being lost. Now, since it's also a bunker build, I'm using staff, mace, shield, and then I use Sigil of Renewal and Sigil of Transference. So basically, whenever you swap, it's going to do a minor heal on allies in a 360 radius. So really nice. It's a cooldown of 9 seconds. So basically that's just how long it takes in combat, basically, to swap weapons again. So honestly, it's not noticeable, and you're going to heal every time you swap weapons. And right here, its outgoing healing effectiveness is increased by 10%. So basically, whenever you're throwing heals out, it's going to heal for 10% more. Really nice. And now I've basically already explained my utilities, but I'll explain how this build works. So when you're in combat, it's better to start with the staff, but you can start with either or. You basically open with your Empower, activate your Virtue of Justice, throw down Symbol of Swiftness, next use your Orb of Light. You can use Line of Warding after that, and swap weapons, use your F3, plop down your next symbol, then Shield of Judgment, block, activate your Hold the Line and stuff when you have Condi, save your Stand Your Ground for stun breaks and for stomping more than anything else. Only activate Shelter when your health is low. As I said, it heals for more than half your health, and it basically makes you invincible from burst damage for 2 seconds because you're blocking. Save your Smite Condi until there's poison or large stacks of burning or confusion on you or something of that nature, so that you can more effectively use your Smite condition, and only use the Renewed Focus when you've used up all your virtues. And if you have to, use Renewed Focus and then hit all of your virtues before the actual effect goes off, because it's a channel for 3 seconds. So basically you're invulnerable for 3 seconds, and then after those 3 seconds, then all your virtues are recharged, and then immediately follow up with another Virtue of Justice after you've used your elite. Use your shield absorption here to interrupt foes being stomped, or just to interrupt other abilities you don't want going off. And make sure to hit 5 twice, because the first time you hit it is the shield, and then you hit it again to pulse the heal. So that's basically all there is to it. And once you get the rotations down, this build is basically invincible. I mean, I want to say invincible, because I've played several games where I've held the midpoint from 3 people for over a solid minute before they were finally able to take me down, and then by then my teammates came in to save me from that point. So this build is really tanky, and I would even advise it above Ranger Druids. Nothing against Druids, I just don't think they work as effectively as a Guardian does, because Guardians just are naturally more defensive from their heavy armor set, and with the virtues and everything that's available to the Guardian, I just think it's a better candidate than the Druid. But all the power to you more if you want to run Druid, but I'm here to tell you that don't discount other classes that can go into healing. So that's all there is to it. Thank you guys for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe and comment below with questions, comments, concerns. and keep watching my channel so that you don't miss the next few parts of my series. And I will be posting combat videos later in the series once I finished all of the professions. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Have a nice day.